I'm not even trying to mess around or nothing. I'm trying to get to something like cool, yeah, Usyk praises me, Tyson praises me, XY people praise me. Like, that doesn't do me no favors. It doesn't. I don't win fights like that. Do you know what I mean? So, like, a couple of years ago, I wasn't in the best circumstances of life, but I just knew that boxing could change it. When I first turned professional, I'm not gonna lie, I thought I didn't like the sport. I thought I was only doing it because I had to. But now, I just want to get in the ring. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've still been training. I'm just ready for whatever call I get.
Welcome back to the Ring Magazine podcast. My name is Louis Hart. It's my pleasure to be joined with Moses Itauma.
And he works that body. He might be in trouble.
Good to have a fellow chatting boy in the studio. How's things, mate? Good to see you.
Everything's all good. Everything's all blessed. I can't complain. I'm just came back from a couple of holidays, and now I'm here to watch one of the biggest cards in boxing.
Yeah, as you say, it's fully flowing in 2025, and boxing is going crazy at the moment. There's so many big fights and so much happening. I guess for yourself to be in this climate and see, especially as a heavyweight, the way that the division's moving, everything's moving. I guess, how is it for yourself?
For me personally, everything's going good. Everything's going smooth. Obviously, a big 2025 incoming. With I feel like with boxing in general, I feel like it's all uplifting. Like, look at the shows that are being made, and man, I'm happy to be part of this.
Mm-hmm. I guess for yourself, Moses, and just touch on yourself to start, it is getting to that position now for yourself where you're going to be pushing on towards world level. People for what you've done at a certain level, you've done it in such emphatic fashion. People are going to expect to see you, mixing it with the top level names. Is that an exciting position to be in? Because you're on your own journey, but knowing that these fights are getting more serious now. Every fight's serious, but you're going to be in there with some real good competition. Is that an exciting feeling for yourself?
100%. Like, listen, in 2025, I'm not trying to I'm not even trying to mess around or nothing. I'm trying to get to something. Like, obviously, this past couple of years, obviously Tyson and Usyk, they've always had the belts, and it's quite difficult to fight for a belt when they're holding it. But slowly, steadily, we're getting there.
Yeah. Do you feel like you realise that the levels are stepping up ever?
No, of course. Dempsey McKean wasn't no mug. Do you get what I mean? So, like I said, next, just bigger, better, stronger. Listen, it's never like I'm targeting like one person. It's kind of the whole heavyweight division kind of be put on notice.
Yeah, I feel like for yourself, people do expect a lot from yourself, and people, your name's getting brought with people like Usyk already. He's getting asked questions about himself. He has things to say about you. Is it ever hard to ignore that or understand that you are on your own path and your own pace?
I don't pay attention to that anyway. That don't do me no favours. Like, cool, yeah, Usyk praises me, Tyson praises me, XY people praise me. Like, that doesn't do me no favours. It doesn't. I don't win fights like that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, it's nice to hear. I got to push it to one side, and I just got to, do my job.
Yeah, I was going to say that there. As I say, people do want you in these certain fights. I don't want to feel like I was sort of asking the same question, but is it important to understand, people expect, but you are still young, and there is still a pace and sort of path to be followed.
I feel like obviously I kind of put that on myself, didn't I? Obviously, what I said when I turned pro, but it's good. It's good. I like when people have the high expectations because it kind of edges like Frank Warren and the team to kind of put me in these big fights. You get what I mean? So I'm not complaining at all. Yeah. At all. Like, I'm doing what I can, and listen, my job as a fighter is to win. Yeah. And for all I know, I'm doing my job to the best of my ability. All that stuff outside the ring, I just leave that to my team. Yeah. It's nothing to do with me.
Yeah, it's interesting as well. As I say, when I talk about expectation and pressure, realistically, that's probably something you put on yourself. When you would come out. I remember when you turned pro, I remember being at that media day and you said, you want to break Mike Tyson's record and this and that. That pressure, is that like a motivation to yourself? Like you want to set these targets for yourself, like to sort of, not to break, but do you like putting that pressure on yourself is what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, because obviously then it kind of forces you to go into a gear that you don't have if you didn't put that pressure on yourself. So yeah, obviously pressure is good, but at the same time, coming out and saying stuff like that, obviously it is my goal and it is my ambition, but I'm just doing what I can do to my best of my ability, and whatever happens, innit?
You talked about earlier about Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury holding a lot of the belts.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like now we're in an era where there is a new sort of bunch of heavyweights coming through and you want to be one to spearhead that?
Yeah, of course. Like, I feel like all you just need is one more slip up or like just one belt to just be, separated from Usyk, and, the heavyweights back feisty. Obviously, at the minute, Usyk is the king. You kind of just got to wait for him to retire or to vacate some of them belts so someone like me can come and grab them.
Yeah. I think 3 years ago, still boxing as an amateur. When you did turn pro, and you fast forward, 2 years now, you've been a professional. Did you think you'd be in this position? Because I know.
Say that again?
Did you think you'd be in this position?
No. I don't think I'll be in this position, but then at the same time, if you would have said that this is the position I'm gonna be in, I wouldn't call you dumb or stupid or arrogant or nothing. None of that. I would believe you, but at the same time, I kind of have come far. You know what I mean? A couple of years ago, I wasn't in the best circumstances of life, but I just knew that boxing could change it. Do you know what I mean? I know boxing can change my life, change my family's life, so that's why I just stuck at it. And we're here. Like I said, if you would have said to me that, this is where you're gonna be in a couple of years, like at the same time, I would believe you because I put the work in, but at the same time, I wouldn't believe you because that's like the script's gone perfect. Do you get what I mean? The script has went to plan. So it is a bit of belief and disbelief, 100%.
For what you're saying there, and boxing is a massive part of your family, it is a typical question, but for what you say there, how important do you think boxing is to you?
It's got more importance now that I can admit than before. When I first turned professional, I'm not going to lie, I thought I didn't like the sport. I thought I was only doing it because I had to. And then when my life kind of started slowing down and I didn't really need to fight as often, when I was at the gym and I was going on holidays, XYZ, I was like, nah, I kind of need it. It's even like now, I'm like, man, I just want to get in the ring. Do you know what I mean? I got these itchy knuckles. I still been training. Look, you can see my knuckles are all blistered up. Like, I still been training. I'm just ready for whatever call I get.
For what you said there, do you love the sport then now?
It's a love-hate relationship. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it. I don't wake up in the morning. I used to wake up every morning, and it used to be the first thought in the morning and the last thought as the day ends. But like as of right now, I wouldn't say I wake up and the first thought I have is boxing. But at the same time, it's like I need boxing in my day. You know what I mean? It's even like I just had a long flight. I was watching boxing the whole way through. Do you know what I mean? And there's always something to learn.
You said about a love-hate relationship. Just focus on the hate side. What would that be? Would that be like the politics? Because it is getting to that position now where you're like...
It's not even the politics. Imagine if I said to you that like for 8 weeks straight, you go do intense running, intense weightlifting, intense sparring, intense circuits, intense bag circuits. Like sometimes it just gets too much, and then on top of that, you got people's expectations. You got this going on, that going on. Then you might have problems outside the ring, and you just got to balance this all out. But I guess that's why boxers get paid a lot of money to do what they're doing, innit? Because it's not an easy sport at all. It's not an easy sport, and I like that. And not only that, is if I lose, that's my choice. I chose to lose. Like, if I you can't blame it on anyone else. In football, you can say like, like you can have. I think it was Alex Ferguson or someone like that said that you only really need 9 solid players in the team. Like the other 2, they can make up for it. But you can't do that in boxing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You need to be on the ball, and that's what I just love about boxing. It's such a long sport, and if I lose, it's down to me. And I know in my preparations that I don't leave any stones unturned. Yeah. So that's why I got so much confidence in myself, because it's even like, if I can say, let's say I blame it on my trainers. I chose to have them trainers. So if I lose, it's still my fault. If I had thought this trainer's fault, then why did you not move? It's still your fault. Everything's your fault. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that kind of does make things a little bit more in your hands, if that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting what you say there, and you mentioned there about sort of all the sparring and the camps and how hard that is. And it's relevant because I spoke to Ben Davison about a year ago, and he spoke about sort of being in camp and being in camp with guys. He said, you remember the finite memories, but what you really remember is, the training and the good times and the bad times throughout all camps. And what you mentioned there about all that thing, which is difficult as it is it also important to, you feel like you love that process as well in a way? As you said, it's love-hate, but there's something to love there because you're pushing to something. Yeah.
I need it. Like, honestly, bro, if I'm not in camp, I'm just like, everything just kind of starts falling out of place. I need it. And do you know what? All through camp, it's nice to work towards something, achieve it, take some time off, and then work towards something again. It's like I said, it's a love-hate relationship. Sometimes I wake up, I'm like, so I just can't be asked to run, or I just can't be asked to lift these weights, or I can't be asked, but I still do it anyway. It's a discipline. It's not motivation. It's discipline, and that's what I mean. That's what I love about it. And do you know what? One thing that does annoy me though is obviously, take Anthony Joshua for example. Like, I don't understand why he's so hated. I don't understand why. Like, I'd go to the gym and someone's like hating on him. Like, he's done so much for British boxing. He's done so much for the sport. And like, I know for sure everybody that's saying, he can't fight and he can't do this and he can't do that, Anthony Joshua would be able to, do you know what I mean, do some serious damage to some people. And yet he's got to sit there and listen to what these lot say. Do you get what I mean? So like, it must be a hard sport because you're listening to people saying you can't fight and they'll probably be able to knock you out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
I was going to say that, as you say there, it's an interesting one, especially when it comes to that. They're not the level of abuse, but stick that especially boxers get. As I say, is there ever a part that is like, you must get frustrated by it with anyone or any boxer, because the reality is, for a lot of people who give this abuse, they could never walk a day in your shoes or any boxer's shoes.
That's what I mean. And that's the good thing about it, because like, I'm happy with my shoes. I wouldn't change it for the world. And the fact is that, like, if anyone's obviously hating on someone else trying to better their lives, and obviously that shows where they are at, innit? Like I said, it is a sport, because it's funny because you get stick even though you know that you can probably bust some guys up. But even being able to talk to someone like AJ is a big blessing for me. Do you get what I mean? Like, I was not too long ago, I was just speaking to him, and I was asking him just so many questions about just not even boxing, just in life in general. And that's the exact same for Tyson. It's the exact same for Joe Parker, whoever. Like, that's what I love about this sport. And another thing that obviously boxing is kind of a blessing is, I'm at the train station and I'm talking to everyone. Do you get what I mean? Like, when would you ever, like a footballer, when would you see him at a train station, or when would you see? I'm just like, I'm just a normal guy trying to better myself. Do you know what I mean? I just love the sport, and sometimes love it, sometimes hate it. But I'm just trying to do what's right for me and my family. Do you get what I mean? And yeah, kind of gone off topic.
No, not at all. No, you're absolutely fine. When you mention about I mentioned the politics and the hate side, because you are probably getting into the position now where the politics side is affecting you a little bit?
Yes and no. I think the politics side, although it is bad, it's also good for the sport because, like, for example, what would you say is politics?
So I would say what politics is when you talk about fighting names like Fraser Clark, Johnny Fisher, or all different domestic names or whatever they may be, or certain names, they will then be and say like, look, that's down the line. I don't need to fight him yet. Or people essentially probably not wanting to fight you, not wanting to take that risk.
But that's not politics. That's not politics. That's just
things getting in the way. Then you fight.
No, but that's not really politics. I feel like if two guys really want to fight, then they would fight. Do you get what I mean? There's a lot of fights been there made, or there is loads of fights for me to be made with a lot of opponents. But the reason why I'm not fighting them is with the matter of time. Do you get what I mean? It's not, if I want to fight, that's one thing. Obviously, my team has to agree with it. Their team has to agree with it. It's got to make sense financially. It's got to make sense commercially. Do you get what I mean? So, I guess politics is bad at times, but I also do think it protects fighters sometimes. So I don't think. Listen, you just got to take the good with the bad, innit? Yeah. Like, I feel like a lot of boxers, like I don't think anyone's got a gun to their head and tell them to box. So if they really did hate this politics side to it, then they wouldn't do it. And I'm starting to really, really enjoy this sport. Yeah. It's just a shame that's like, obviously with this damage to the, like, you can't just be in this sport forever. And I always said to myself, if the sport wasn't so damaging, I'd stay in it for forever, honestly.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that, because you are still young, and you are still 2021. So I guess do you have a plan? Like, is there a plan for the career of a time where you want to get out?
Is there a plan? There is and there isn't. Like, I kind of know what I want to do, what I want to achieve, and what I need to achieve for me to exit the game. But then, like, life just takes so many turns, so you don't really plan for anything. You just take it as it comes.
Is it important to have that idea though? Because, you know, not mentioning any names, but there's a lot of people who fought or who are still fighting. There's, you know, they don't have that exit plan where they've sort of stayed past their welcome and, you know, see the effect of it. Has that always been a worry for you then, would you say?
That's why I'm so grateful that I've got such a good team behind me. Like, I can't be thankful and grateful enough with the solid, just like my team. It's like it's covered from all angles, and like if I wanted to stop boxing today, I probably could. It wouldn't be a lavish lifestyle, but I probably could. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I don't have no plan to exit the sport, no nothing. But obviously, in my mind, it's you get your money and get out. But at the same time, you got to make something. You got to make something of your career because you only get one.
Yeah.
I don't want to be 60-year-old or 70-year-old and thinking, I should have done one more fight with this guy, or I wish I would have boxed this guy. Or that, do you know what I mean? Done this and done that. I just, I'm just taking it step by step. And, obviously, like, although the AJs and the Usyks and all them type of guys, they might be retiring soon, like, there's a whole heap of heavyweights, whether it's from the UK, whether it's from America, whether it's from Australia or wherever, New Zealand. There's a whole heap of heavyweights, and I'm gonna be fighting them soon.
Yeah, you mentioned there about sort of getting in and getting out.
I didn't even know that Bakoli's so young. He's like, what's he like? 30, isn't it?
He's in his 30s.
Like, what's he, 20, 29?
Yeah, I think he's in like early 30s, on the good side of 30. But
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Well, I think pretty sure when he boxed Michael Hunt, I think I saw he was 28. I look 35. I'm not the one to be talking there, but like, he don't look his age.
Yeah. But talking about being in and being out, how much credit do you think that you've seen some all-time greats, guys like Joe Calzaghe? I think Andre Ward's the best one. I read his book and he spoke about, look, 32-0, there was a lot of offers on the table, but he's like, you know what, I'm comfortable. I've done what I've needed to do in this game. How much credit do you think them fight, like you want to really do that, but how much credit do you think the fighters deserve for doing things like that and not being lured for that one more?
Problem is it's just that, it's like, when do you call it quits? So when do you call it quits? It's that one more fight could have been that damaging career, or that career-ending injury. Sorry, or that physical injury and career. Do you get what I mean? And it's like, when do you call it a day? Like when is the right time? Like, let's say Andre Ward, he might have had one more fight, and something bad might have happened to him, or XYZ might have happened to Joe Kawasaki. Exactly the same could have happened to him. I just feel like you just never know with the sport. So you got to get in and got to get out, but at the same time, you got to make most of his career.
Moses, you've been around top level heavyweight names for a long time. There's always the great story of sparring the Coley at 15. And you've been around so many top names. And you mentioned there about soaking up knowledge, whether it be from AJ, Tyson Fury, Joseph Parker. Being around them names from young and being around and gaining that knowledge for a lot of years now, how beneficial has that been for you, moving your career, going forward, really being a mature head on young shoulders?
I didn't have a choice. Like the kind of pressure that I did put, or the weight of the pressure that I had on my shoulders, I had no choice but to mature early. Even like outside of the ring, like when me and my brother was obviously living together for a bit of time, we was only young at the time. Like, there was a lot of pressure on our shoulders. You get what I mean? Like, my brother knows how to cook because we was living together, and he was the one that was doing the cooking. I was the one that was doing the running about. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, we had to grow up. We did have to grow up really early. And I feel that shape us. I feel like that shape us. Every bit of your life always leads to where you are. Do you know what I mean? If you kept like messing up, and you look in yourself, you're like, why are you in such a bad place? Because you keep messing up. Because obviously, like right now, like I'll make 10 right decisions, I might make one wrong one. I might make 2 or 3, then I'll go back to making the right decisions. Do you get what I mean? And I got this thing where it's like, obviously I'm still young. Like I can blame all my stupidity on me being young. And the thing is, I just want to go out there and make as many mistakes as possible. I'm like, it's like even where it's like, I got the right decision, I got the wrong decision, I might choose the wrong decision just to see where we can go. Do you get what I mean? So I'm just here about making mistakes, and by the time I'm 30 years old, I got everything perfected. It's even like the Mobile Awards the other day. I was thinking to myself, like, how do you know what? Like, I don't really know how to present. I don't know, like, where do I look? How do I stand? How do I smile? X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, let me just go and do it wrong, and we correct it later. So I've done it. Now I know how to stand, how to smile, whatever. Do you get what I mean? So, like I said, I always say the wrong thing, I do the wrong thing, and we correct it later.
Yeah. How important is it, I guess, to accept that you will make mistakes? I'm sure at 20 you think you might know it all at times, and then when it gets to, you look back at maybe the 24-year-old version of yourself, and then you think that was nothing on the 20-year-old version of yourself. Important to understand that, as I say, like as you mentioned there, like important to understand that, you almost not want to make mistakes, but understand it is, as I say, once again, part of the process.
But mistakes always happens. The only time I don't want to make a mistake is when I'm in the ring.
Yeah, of course.
See what I mean? Because that could be the last mistake you ever make. So outside the ring, I'm just, do you know what I mean? I'm just trying to learn off everything. And obviously a good person learns from his mistakes. A great person learns from someone else's. So I always observe with what everyone's saying, and even like when I talk to AJ or when I talk to Fury or whatever, I ask them questions because they've made mistakes. Do you get what I mean? So I'll ask them so I don't have to make that same mistake. But then sometimes the only way you're gonna learn how to swim is if you get in the water. You can't just read a book about it and then now you know how to swim. I'm just the type of person where, I make a mistake, I learn from it, I won't do it again, and then people applaud me for it. And they're like, oh wow, you're really mature, you do this well, you do that well. The reason why I don't get hit is because I've been hit so many times in sparring. Do you get what I mean? The reason why I look good under the bright lights is because I made so many mistakes in training. Like, my fight with Dempsey McKean it's punch perfect, But you should have seen my sparring. Do you get what I mean? There was 2 or 3 sparring sessions where like, I had to pull it together. Do you get what I mean? So it's just making sure that everything under the bright lights is perfecto.
Just touching there on I know it was a story we've spoken about quite a lot of time when it comes to sparring a Coley and being in that environment at such a young age. When you are like 15, 16 and, you're sharing a ring with top level pros, is there a part of you that thinks like, what have I done to deserve this in a way? Not in a disrespectful way, but like a more intrinsic, like maybe like an imposter syndrome or something like that.
That's what I love about boxing. If you're good, your talent's going to be recognised. Someone's going to pick you up and take you to that next level. Do you get what I mean? For me, it happened to be Okoli. He managed to spread the word to numerous of people. But if it wasn't for him, let's say I wasn't sparring Okoli, I would have got brought in by someone else. I would have got brought in by Joe Joyce. I would have got brought in by this guy. So if you're good, your talent gets spreaded. In the UK, obviously, when you're living in other parts of the world, maybe that might not be the case. And that is what is the blessed position that I'm in. I'm just so grateful because, like, I get to do what I love. I get, obviously, rewarded for that. And I actually get to do it in the UK or in Saudi Arabia in front of like the biggest crowds. Like, I know for sure that our fighters better than the world champions now, just never had the platform.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. It's very, very interesting. Before we do close this off, I guess what are the plans for 2025? What's the goals and the aim for this year, as I say?
I'm not naming no names, just like I said it last year, I want to get to some titles. Obviously, I'm taking a step closer to the titles, not dancing around anyone's tune. Just trying to get to something big, honestly. Maybe a world title would be good. If not, somewhere around it. Like I said, my job is getting into the ring and fight. I leave everything else to my team.
It's exciting times for yourself, Moses. Thank you for speaking to us today. Thank you for speaking to the Ring Magazine podcast. It's been a pleasure. As always, thank you for listening in and enjoy. Thank you.